Some things are too sacred to be rushed. Some dreams are too valuable to be hurried. The greatest masterpieces of your life, the ones that will make you weep with gratitude, they are taking their time. Because you are being shaped in the process in a world that worships instant results, it's easy to feel like you're falling behind. It's easy to think that if it hasn't happened yet, maybe it never will. But hear me, the timing of your life is not broken. Your story is not delayed. Good things, the right things take time. Growth takes time. Healing takes time. Real love takes time. Patience isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the soul's way of trusting that life knows what it's doing, even when you don't. And sometimes when you feel forgotten, when you feel unseen, when you wonder if your efforts are wasted, that's when life is secretly weaving your greatest breakthrough. The one meant for you feels you even from miles away. Your dreams are calling you even when you can't hear them yet. This season you're walking through is not punishment, it's preparation. You're not stuck, you're strengthening. So don't rush the masterpiece. Don't abandon the garden just because the seed is still underground. Good things take time. And trust me, you're closer than you think. Patience is one of the greatest forms of strength a human being can possess. But the world will rarely tell you that. The world will tell you to hurry up, to force it, to chase it, to sprint toward it without stopping to breathe. But true power, real, soul-rooted power, is found in the one who can stay grounded in the waiting. Patience is not weakness. It is not resignation. It is not laziness. Patience is the audacity to trust that life knows a timing that your mind cannot yet comprehend. It is the unshakable belief that what is meant for you is moving toward you, even when all you see is stillness, even when every clock screams that you are late, even when every comparison on your feet tells you that you are behind. Patience is the quiet roar of a heart that refuses to panic. There is an art to waiting well. It's about staying present while being pulled toward a future you cannot yet hold. It's about keeping your heart open in a season where your hands are empty. It's about smiling with a soul full of hope when the evidence gives you every reason to quit. Waiting isn't a punishment, it's a sacred training ground where your faith, your strength, and your spirit are being refined for what you asked for. And beyond. You see, when you rush, you settle. You grab for what's available instead of holding space for what's extraordinary. Impatience makes you compromise. Impatience makes you water yourself down to fit into rooms you've outgrown. But patience teaches you to trust the process. It strengthens your discernment. It shows you how to recognize the doors that were always meant for you and walk away from the ones that were not. People often think they're waiting on life, but the truth is life is waiting on them to become the person who's ready to carry what they ask for. It's one thing to receive a blessing, it's another thing to be strong enough to hold and protect it and honor it. Patience builds such strength in you, layer by layer, moment by moment. There are things being formed inside you right now that you can't yet measure, wisdom that isn't visible yet, and courage that hasn't been tested yet. A resilience you are going to need when your dreams finally call your name. And when they do, you'll realize why you had to wait. You'll understand that the version of you who began this journey was not yet ready for the magnitude of what life had in store. So don't confuse the waiting with wasting. Every day that feels quiet is a day that life is deepening your roots. Every moment that feels like a delay is a moment that destiny is sharpening your wing. Because the most unstoppable thing in the world is a heart that trusts the timing of its own blooming. Just because it hasn't happened yet doesn't mean it's not going to happen. Delay is not denial. Life has a way of protecting what is sacred. It has a way of holding back certain things until the exact moment you are ready to receive them. But in the meantime, it can feel like a cruel silence. It can feel like the door is closed, the opportunity is lost, the dream is slipping through your fingers. And if you're not careful, you'll start to believe that delay means forgotten. You'll start to believe that because it's not here yet, maybe it was never real to begin with. But life doesn't work like that. Dreams planted in your heart are not accidents. Longings that echo in your soul are not random. What you desire most deeply is connected to your destiny, and anything that carries that much weight is too important to be rushed. Sometimes the space between your asking and your receiving is necessary. It's not a void. It's a vital stretch of time where you are being prepared, molded, expanded to hold what you asked for. It's the space where your faith is tested and your character is fortified. Without that space, you would crumble under the very thing you prayed for. Imagine a seed planted deep in the ground. You water it, you nurture it, but for a long time, maybe weeks, maybe months, you see nothing. To the outside world, it looks like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, life is exploding. Roots are reaching down into the soil, anchoring themselves, building a foundation strong enough to support the bloom that is coming. If you judge the seed by what you could see, you would give up. You would walk away. You would say it's over. But the truth is, the breakthrough is happening invisibly before it ever happens visibly. You are no different. Just because your success isn't visible yet doesn't mean it isn't growing. Just because your love story hasn't appeared yet doesn't mean it isn't being orchestrated. Just because the opportunity hasn't knocked yet doesn't mean life isn't building the house that was custom made for you to walk into. Delay refines you. It burns away the need for external validation. It strips you of illusions. It teaches you how to stand on your own. And when the thing finally comes, when the blessing finally arrives, you will recognize it for what it is. You won't sabotage it. You won't run from it. You will be ready to honor it, protect it, and live it fully because you let the delay do its sacred work in you. Most people don't miss their destiny because they weren't good enough. They miss it because they gave up too soon. They misread silence as rejection. They let the slow seasons convince them they were unworthy. But the truth is, the ones who keep moving, even when it looks like nothing is happening, are the ones who inherit the life they were always meant for. So if you are in the waiting, if you are in the wilderness, if you are watching the clock and wondering if life has forgotten your address, breathe deep and stay faithful. Life is not late or blessing is not denied. Your season is not over. You are not being rejected. You are being reserved for something bigger than you can imagine. And when it comes, it will be so right, so aligned, so breathtakingly perfect. You'll understand why it had to take its time. Some of the most powerful shifts in your life will happen in silence. No announcement, no warning, no fireworks, no crowd gathered to cheer you on, just a quiet unfolding deep beneath the surface of your ordinary days. You won't always realize it while it's happening, but later, when you look back, you'll see it clearly. Those are the moments everything changed. Because the best energy doesn't need to prove itself. It doesn't need to make a lot of noise to make a lot of impact. It doesn't have to broadcast every move it's making. True transformation, the kind that rewrites your future, is sacred work. And sacred work almost always begins in silence. When you plant a seed, you don't scream at the soil to hurry. You don't dig it up every day to check its progress. You trust. You trust. You know that in that deep, dark place, something miraculous is happening, even if you can't see it, even if you can't feel it, even if you wonder some days if anything is happening at all. That's how life works. That's how your breakthroughs work. That's how your alignment is being formed. Right now, while you are staying faithful, staying patient, staying focused, things are shifting for you. Connections are being made. Opportunities are aligned. The people who are meant to find you are being drawn toward you. Doors that were closed are being unlocked behind the scenes. And you don't have to force it. You don't have to chase it. You don't have to prove yourself to the world to make it happen. You just have to trust that what moves in silence often carries the most unstoppable momentum. The noise of the world can be so deceiving. It will try to convince you that unless people are clapping for you, you're not winning. Unless you're trending, you're not growing. Unless you're being seen, you're not succeeding. But the soul knows better. The soul knows that the deepest, most lasting transformations happen quietly, away from the spotlight, away from the pressure to perform, away from the need to impress. Some of your greatest victories will happen in rooms where no one is watching. Some of your strongest healing will happen when nobody even knows you're battling. Some of your most important moments of growth will happen when you're alone with your doubts, your hopes, and your relentless decision to keep going. And that's powerful. Because when your growth doesn't depend on applause, you become unstoppable. When your success isn't tied to visibility, you become rooted. When your energy is moving silently but surely, you become a force that nothing and no one can derail. Not everything needs to be announced. Not every chapter needs a grand opening. Some of the most beautiful seasons of your life will bloom in private. Some of the most extraordinary breakthroughs will find you when you're quietly showing up for yourself, day after day, without needing anyone else's permission. So, stay in your lane, Stay faithful to the work, trust the silence, trust the energy that's building where eyes can't yet see. Your moment is coming, your harvest is on its way, and when it arrives, it will be undeniable. Because the energy you create in the quiet places is the energy that lasts. It's the energy that changes everything. You may not see it yet, but you are growing in ways that words can't even capture. It's happening in the small decisions you make every day to show up, even when you don't feel like it. It's happening every time you choose patience over panic, faith over fear, and perseverance over quitting. Growth doesn't always come with flashing lights and loud announcements, loud announcements. Most of the time, it looks like quiet resilience. It feels like fighting battles no one knows about and still choosing to believe that something beautiful is being built out of your struggle. Your growth is not loud. It's not always dramatic. It's not always visible to others. Sometimes it's just you, waking up with a heart still heavy but choosing to carry it anyway. Sometimes it's you, taking one more small step forward when everything inside of you is screaming to give up. Growth often looks like ordinary moments strung together by extraordinary courage, charani courage. There is a sacredness in silent growth. It's where you learn to validate yourself instead of chasing validation from the outside world. It's where you learn to find strength in your solitude, power in your patience, and joy in your journey. Even when nobody else sees what you're carrying. When you're growing in silence, you're not performing. You're not pretending, you're becoming authentically, fully, unapologetically. And one day the results of that silent work will speak for themselves. One day the peace you fought for will radiate from you. The confidence you build brick by brick will anchor you. The wisdom you bled for in your dark seasons will flow from you effortlessly, and people will look at you and wonder how you became who you are. They'll wonder how you glow without trying, how you move with such ease, how you carry such unshakable strength. They won't see the nights you spent doubting yourself but choosing faith anyway. They won't see the moments you sat alone with your tears and still decided to get up and face another day. They won't see the inner wars you fought and won just to be here. But you will know. You'll know that every silent season, every invisible victory, every unseen act of courage was worth it. You'll know that growth isn't always loud, but it is always powerful. And it always leaves you stronger than it found. So if it feels like nobody sees the work you're doing, if it feels like your progress is invisible, if it feels like you're building a whole new life in the dark, don't lose heart. Don't let the silence fool you into thinking nothing is happening. Everything is happening. The roots are going deeper. The foundation is getting stronger. The future you dream about is getting closer with every unseen step. Trust your silent growth, trust the slow unfolding, trust the invisible becoming. Because one day, without warning, the life you fought for will bloom into view, and it will be undeniable that you didn't just survive the journey, you transformed through it. You don't have to force real connections. You don't have to chase them, perform for them, beg for them to stay. Because what's real recognizes you without constant explanations. What's true feels you without needing a performance. In a world that is obsessed with instant validation, with likes, with comments, with constant reassurance, there is something profoundly beautiful about the connections that survive and thrive in silence. True connections don't need daily proof to stay alive. They don't demand constant attention to exist. They breathe, they stretch, they hold space for you even when you're silent. Even when you're distant, even when life pulls you in 1,000 directions. When a bond is real, you can go days, weeks, even months without constant words. But the energy remains, the thread is unbroken, the trust is intact. This is because real connection is not based on performance. It's not based on how perfectly you show up every day. It's not based on how much you can impress someone or stay constantly visible. Real connection is rooted deeper than the surface. It's felt spirit to spirit, soul to soul to soul, beyond words, beyond distance, beyond time. And when you have that kind of bond with someone, whether it's a friend, a lover, a mentor, a soul companion, you can feel their energy even when they're miles away. You sense their presence when you need them most, even if no words are exchanged. Their spirit holds a space for you that doesn't collapse under the weight of life's busyness, hardships, or changing seasons. You see, fragile connections crave constant validation because they're built on unstable ground. They need noise to survive. They need to be seen, heard, and reassured every moment, or else they wither. But the deeper the roots of a connection, the less it demands attention. It doesn't fall apart because of silence. It doesn't break because of distance. It endures because it's real. True connections give you freedom to grow, freedom to heal, freedom to evolve without fear of abandonment, freedom to be your most authentic, unfiltered self without fear of judgment. When someone's spirit is truly linked to yours, they don't disappear when you get quiet. They don't walk away when you need time to breathe, to heal, to figure things out. They don't need you to prove yourself over and over again to earn their loyalty. Their connection to you exists because of who you are at your core, not what you do or how often you perform. And isn't that the kind of connection we're all longing for? Not the kind that demands more and more from you, draining your soul for scraps of attention, but the kind that sees you, the kind that feels you, the kind that stands with you, even when words are few and seasons are heavy. So if life feels quiet right now, if some people have drifted away, if you feel unseen by the world, trust that what is real will remain. What is meant for you will not need constant convincing. The right connections will recognize your silence not as rejection but as sacred space for growth. They will honor your journey even when it takes you through valleys where your voice is soft and your heart is tender. You don't have to keep explaining yourself to people who are wired to understand you. You don't have to keep proving your worth to people who already see it. You don't have to exhaust yourself maintaining what is truly meant for you. The energy that is aligned with your soul will not require constant maintenance. It will move with you, breathe with you, stretch with you and remain with you, even when life is anything but easy. Trust the connections that feel effortless. Trust the bonds that don't break under silence. Trust that you are already deeply, profoundly loved, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. Healing is not a straight line. It's not a checklist you move through neatly. It's messy, unpredictable, and often invisible to the naked eye. Healing doesn't always feel like progress. Sometimes it feels like standing still. Sometimes it feels like you're stuck in the same emotions, the same memories, the same tired cycle. But hear me when I say this, even when it feels like nothing is changing, healing is happening. It happens in the moments when you feel broken, but choose not to break everything around you. It happens when you're triggered, but pause before reacting. It happens when you sit with uncomfortable feelings instead of running from them. Healing happens in the subtle, unseen moments, the tiny victories you rarely celebrate because you're too focused on how far you still think you have to go. There are seasons where you will feel like you're trapped in the same pain, the same heartbreak, the same self-doubt. You will ask yourself, why am I still here? Why am I not over this yet? But what you don't see is that under the surface, your spirit is stitching itself back together. So, layer by layer, breath by breath, decision by decision. Just because the pain hasn't fully lifted doesn't mean you aren't stronger. Just because the sadness still visits you sometimes doesn't mean you haven't grown. Just because you still wrestle with doubt and fear doesn't mean you're losing the battle. Healing is not about never feeling hurt again. Healing is about building enough inner strength that when the hurt comes, it doesn't undo you. It's about becoming so rooted in who you are that the storms of life can no longer rip you from your foundation. And that strength is built slowly, in the dark, in the quiet, in the waiting. You are not stuck. You are learning endurance. Stuck. You are strengthening your roots. You are not stuck, you are strengthening. You are not stuck. You are being prepared for a future so solid, so beautiful, so unshakable that the battles you're fighting now will pale in comparison to the life you'll soon be living. Some healing doesn't look like waking up one day with everything fixed. Some healing looks like carrying the same burden with a lighter heart. Some healing looks like forgiving yourself for needing more time. Some healing looks like choosing to keep believing, even when hope feels fragile. And even if you take 2 steps forward and 1 step back, that's still progress. That's still movement. That's still proof that you are not who you used to be. Give yourself permission to honor your healing, even if it's slow, even if it's silent, even if it's invisible to everyone else. You don't owe the world a performance of your progress. Healing is sacred. It is yours. It doesn't have to make sense to anyone else. So when you feel stuck, remind yourself, growth is still happening here. When you feel tired, remind yourself, strength is still being built here. When you feel lost, remind yourself, healing doesn't always look like clarity. Sometimes it looks like learning how to walk through the fog without losing yourself. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are healing. And every day you choose to stay in the process, even when it hurts, even when it's hard, even when it feels hopeless. You are winning battles inside yourself that the world may never see, but heaven surely celebrates. Trust the process, even when it feels stuck. Because sometimes the moments that feel the slowest are the ones that are transforming you the most. Patience is not weakness. Patience is protection. Patience is the silent guardian standing between where you are now and where you're meant to be. It's the wisdom to understand that everything beautiful, everything lasting, everything meaningful takes time to build. And sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do to your destiny is to rush it. We live in a world that raises speed, a world that rewards urgency, demands instant results, and glorifies the overnight success. But what they don't tell you is that anything built in a hurry is often fragile. Anything rushed into existence rarely has the depth, the strength, the resilience to withstand life's inevitable storms. You are not building a life you can show off in a highlight reel. You are building a life that will endure, a life that will shelter you, a life that will hold your dreams and protect your peace for years to come. And anything worth that weight requires patience. Patience teaches you to lay every brick carefully. Patience teaches you to build your foundation deep, not just high. Patience teaches you to fortify your dreams so that when the winds of adversity come, and they will, what you have built will not crumble. If you move too fast, you will settle too soon. If you move too fast, you will miss the details that matter most. If you move too fast, you will mistake counterfeit opportunities for real ones. Because sometimes life will test your readiness by offering you something good before the great arrives. No, patience isn't passive, it's powerful. It's active waiting, it's building when no one is watching, it's growing when no one is clapping. It's believing in the unseen progress that's happening underneath the surface. Imagine a seed planted deep within the earth. No one stands over it day after day yelling, "Grow faster." No one demands a flower the next morning. The seed is trusted to do what it was created to do, in its own time, in its own way. The darkness doesn't mean the seed is dead. It means it's preparing. It means it's preparing. It means the roots are growing. It means life is forming where the eyes can't see. You are that seed, your dreams are that seed, your healing, your growth, your purpose. All of it is being nurtured in the unseen places right now. And if you abandon the process because it feels too slow, you risk missing the masterpiece your life was destined to become. Every delay is not a denial, it's a deepening. Every pause is not a punishment, it's a preparation. Every season of waiting is carving strength, resilience, character, and wisdom into you. Because when what you're building finally emerges, when the opportunity finally comes, when the relationship finally arrives, when the doors finally swing open, you won't just be ready to step into it. You won't just be ready to step into it. You'll be strong enough to stay in it. You'll be wise enough to handle it. You'll be grateful enough to honor it. Patience isn't robbing you of your future. It's protecting your future from the parts of you that are still being refined. So don't despise the slow days. Don't curse the silent seasons. Don't give up just because it's taking longer than you thought. Everything meaningful requires patience. Everything sacred demands waiting. Everything beautiful needs time to become all that it was meant to be. Trust the timing. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that what you are building in patience today will one day stand tall as a monument to your perseverance, your faith, and your relentless belief that good things are always worth waiting for. There is a divine rhythm to your life, a flow that will carry you exactly where you need to go. You don't have to chase what is meant for you. You don't have to strive, claw, or fight for it. Because what's meant for you, what is truly destined to be yours, will find its way to you, even when you don't have the faintest idea of how or when. We live in a world that tells us to hustle, to push, to force our dreams into being, as if success is only for the loudest, the quickest, the most relentless. But the truth is, some of the most powerful things in life are not those that are forced, but those that unfold naturally in their own time and with a grace that you could never have predicted. What is meant for you will find you, and often it will find you when you least expect it, in a way that is far greater than you ever imagined. The universe is not in a rush to deliver what you deserve. Your destiny is not behind schedule. Everything that is meant to come to you is coming at the exact right time, in the exact right way. through the exact right people. You don't need to worry about it, chase it down, or manipulate circumstances. You need to trust that the right doors will open, the right people will enter, the right opportunities will unfold in their own perfect timing. This doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you stop fighting the current. It means you stop chasing things that are not aligned with your true purpose. It means you stop exhausting yourself trying to make things happen when they're not meant to be yours. There are moments when you will feel the urge to push, to make something happen that doesn't feel right. There will be times when the pressure of waiting feels overwhelming. But the greatest gift you can give yourself is the peace of surrendering to what is meant for you. When you stop trying to force things, when you stop doubting that you're worthy of receiving everything you desire, you open yourself up to a flow that is so much more effortless than you ever thought possible. And when that flow happens, when what's meant for you starts showing up, it will feel like a divine alignment. It will feel like the universe has conspired in your favor, like every moment of waiting was preparing you for the perfect arrival. What's meant for you doesn't have to be chased. It finds you when you are ready to receive it. It comes when you are grounded in your worth, when you trust yourself and your path enough to allow the pieces to fall into place. It arrives when you've learned the lesson, when you've grown into the person you were always meant to become. So when you're looking at other people's success, wondering when your breakthrough is going to happen, remind yourself, it's coming, it's already on its way. It's just taking its time to arrive, so it can meet you in the perfect place, at the perfect moment, when you are fully prepared to receive it. Don't chase, don't force, don't worry. Everything that is meant for you will come at the perfect time. And when it does, it will feel like it was always meant to be. It will feel like it was always yours, even if you couldn't see it before. So let go of the need to control every detail. Let go of the fear that you're missing out, that you're falling behind. Let go of the comparisons that make you think someone else's success diminishes your own. Because in the grand scheme of things, what is meant for you cannot be missed. It cannot be taken from you. It will find you, and when it does, it will be the most beautiful, soul-aligning thing you've ever experienced. Trust the timing, trust the process, trust the flow of your life. What's meant for you will always find its way. There's a profound strength in letting. It may sound counterintuitive, almost like surrendering is a form of weakness. But let me tell you, letting go is one of the most courageous and powerful acts you can make. Because letting go is not about giving up, it's about making space for what truly belongs in your life. It's about releasing the weight, the burden, and the attachments that have kept you from stepping fully into your power, into your purpose, into the highest version of yourself. We spend so much of our lives holding on tightly to things that were never meant to stay, and we think that if we just keep holding on, we can force things to work. We hold on to relationships that have run their course, thinking we need them to feel validated or complete. We hold on to past mistakes, carrying the guilt and shame as though they define us. We hold on to fear, thinking that if we let go of it, we will lose our sense of control. We hold on to the idea that we must have everything figured out right now, or else we're failing figured out right now. But here's the truth. Holding on to things that no longer serve you only keeps you stuck in the past. It keeps you tethered to what was rather than what could be. It drains your energy and your spirit, leaving you with little room to welcome the new, the better, the greater things that are waiting for you. There is so much power in letting go. Letting go doesn't mean you fail. Letting go doesn't mean you're weak. Letting go doesn't mean you lost. Letting go means you are wise enough to know that the life you are creating requires space for new beginnings. It means you understand that sometimes, in order to grow, you must release the very things you thought you couldn't live without. When you let go, you free yourself from the chains of the past. You give yourself permission to move forward without the burden of what once was. You release the emotional weight that has kept you bound to old patterns, old stories, and old identities. And in that freedom, you create a space for something new to enter, something more aligned with who you are becoming, something that fits where you are now, not where you were then. Letting go is about embracing the unknown. It's about surrendering the need for control and trusting that life has a way of bringing you exactly what you need, even if it doesn't look how you expected. It's about understanding that sometimes the best thing you can do for yourself is step back and trust the process. Trusting that life is not working against you, but for you. It's in the letting go that you give life the room to surprise you. You give the universe permission to open doors you could never have imagined. You make space for the miracles that are just waiting to arrive but can't reach you until you release what's been blocking their path. So let go of the relationships that drain you, the ones that make you question your worth. Let go of the beliefs that have kept you small, the ones that have made you doubt your potential. Let go of the hurt that has been holding you hostage, the grudges that keep you stuck in a cycle of resentment. Let go of the need to control everything, to have every detail of your life planned out and perfect. Let go of the shame of your past, the mistakes that have been clinging to your soul, reminding you of everything you think you did wrong. And when you do, you'll begin to notice that life starts shifting, the weight begins to lift, your heart begins to feel lighter, your mind begins to clear, and you'll find that you have more energy, more clarity, and more peace than you've ever had before. Letting go is not about losing. It's about winning the life that was always meant for you, the life that you couldn't have had if you are still holding on to things that no longer serve you. So I invite you to ask yourself, what are you still holding on to? What beliefs, what fears, what relationships, what regrets, what judgments have you been carrying that are no longer helping you grow? What is weighing you down, holding you back from becoming the person you were always meant to be? And when you discover those things, release them. Release them so that your soul can soar. Release them so that your heart can heal. Release them so that your spirit can step into its true power. Because the life that is waiting for you, the life filled with abundance, joy, peace, and fulfillment, cannot come until you make the space for it. And that space is made by letting go. Letting go of what no longer fits, what no longer serves you, what no longer belongs. And trusting that in doing so, you are clearing the path for everything that is meant for you to enter. The act of letting go is not a defeat, it is a victory. It is a declaration to the universe that you are ready for more, that you are ready for what's next, that you are ready for the life you've been waiting for. There will be times in your life when the road ahead seems unclear. There will be moments when the path you're walking feels uncertain, when the way forward feels foggy, and when you can't see even one step ahead. There will be times when you feel like you've given all you've got and still that the destination feels miles away. But I want you to hear this today. Even when you can't see the way, you can trust that the way is there. Even when the future seems hidden from your eyes, you are still being guided, still being directed, still being protected. The journey you are on isn't about having all the answers right now. It's not about knowing every step, every detail, or having everything mapped out before you begin. Life's journey is about trust. It's about believing in the process, even when the process doesn't make sense. It's about stepping forward with faith, even when your mind can't understand how the pieces are coming together. Think about the nature of a seed again. It is planted in the dark earth. It doesn't know how the sun will find it. Doesn't know how the sun will find it, doesn't know when the rain will. It doesn't know how long it will take to break through the surface and stretch toward the light. But still it trusts the process. It trusts that it was created to grow, to bloom, to become something beautiful. Even when it can't see the result in the beginning. And so are you. You are like that seed. Your growth may take time. The road may be unclear. But if you trust the journey, if you trust the timing of life, if you trust that every step you take is moving you toward what's meant for you, you will eventually see the beauty unfold. The way will be revealed when you are ready to receive it. The path will become clear when you reach the place of faith and surrender. What you need to know will come when the time is right and not a moment sooner. You don't have to have it all figured out today. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to understand every twist and turn in the road. What you need to do is trust that the journey you're on is leading you to exactly where you're meant to be, and that every step is part of the process. Trust the unfolding. Trust the pauses. Trust the slow seasons when nothing seems to be happening. Trust the moments when you feel stuck, because it's in those moments that you're being prepared for something greater. Trust the detours, because sometimes the path you wanted isn't the one you needed. Trust the challenges, because they are teaching you lessons you will carry with you for the rest of your life. There will be moments when doubt creeps in, when fear whispers in your ear, telling you that the journey is taking too long, that you're not getting anywhere, that you'll never reach your destination. But you must remember, those whispers are lies. Your journey is not a mistake. Your timing is not off. The road you're on, no matter how winding, is leading you exactly where you need to go. You may not always understand the why behind the struggle or the confusion. You may not always see the point of the hardship or the delay. But if you trust the journey, you will look back one day and realize that every step, every setback, every challenge, and every victory was leading you to the place you are supposed to be. You will realize that every detour made you strong. Every closed door was protecting you from something that wasn't meant to be. Every moment of waiting taught you patience, resilience, and grace. Trust that you are exactly where you need to be, even when it doesn't feel that way. Trust that you are right on time, even when the world seems to be moving faster than you are. Trust that the next step will be revealed when you need it, and you will know what to do when the time comes. Your journey is unfolding in perfect harmony. And the beautiful thing is, when you trust it fully, you begin to see the magic in the waiting. You begin to recognize the lessons in the quiet moments. You begin to appreciate the beauty in the uncertainty because you know that your growth is happening beneath the surface. So trust the timing of your life. Trust that the challenges are shaping you. Trust that the answers will come when you need them. And most importantly, trust that you are always exactly where you are meant to be, even when you can't see the way forward. Keep moving forward, even when you don't know the next step. Keep believing in the process, even when it feels like you're walking blind. Because what's meant for you will never miss you, and what's meant to come into your life will always find its way to you. All you have to do is trust the journey, keep going, and know that one day you will look back and understand that every step, every moment of uncertainty, every step of faith, every twist in the road was exactly what you needed to bring you to where you are now. And when you arrive, you'll see that it was worth every single step. The trust, the waiting, the believing, the never giving up. It was all leading to the most beautiful version of your life.